Hey everyone, welcome to the channel. Today we are going to look at some incredible turtle TikToks, and I can guarantee you will find something incredible, interesting or surprising in this bunch. So, no pun intended, let's dive in.
You want to see my grandpa hold him? Alright, bet.
Okay, you non-believers, what about this? Can you give him a big smile, Snappy? Yeah, boy, he's a good boy. Now what do you think, folks? You think I got a friendly turtle or what?
That was nice to see Grandpa with his turtle. Snapping turtles, they have this really fearsome reputation, but if you keep them in captivity, they actually become dog tame. He's breaking the reputation of turtles being slow. I love the noise it makes as well.
Please. Here. Go get it. Go get it over there. Watch the table! No! The table! Oh, good God.
So that was an African spur thigh tortoise or a sulcata. Those things, you buy them and they're like that big for $100 or whatever. And when they grow up, they're destructive. They dig massive burrows. You have to have really sturdy enclosures for them, and they love, you know, ramming and destroying stuff.
Oh yeah! Oh, we got one!
Hey, hold it.
We got a big one! Who's a good boy? Oh! Ow!
If you watch that whole video, that guy was handling the turtle in a really quite dangerous and disrespectful way, in a way that could have injured it, picking it up by the tail and the leg and stuff like that. And that's just a case of instant karma.
Look at your little heart. When I first heard about her, I immediately knew I had to take her in and do everything I could to give her a fair chance at life.
You're so tiny.
Hope was born with an exposed heart. There's no shell covering where her heart is. People would say she's just a turtle, why even bother? She won't survive.
I'm gonna take good care of you.
I knew it wouldn't be easy, but I was committed to keeping her alive.
That is a really cool story. I just saw an update on this one recently, and the turtle is still alive. It's grown substantially, it's doing absolutely fine. The hole hasn't covered up, but it's just learned to live with it, and that guy's taking amazing care of her.
These are African pancake tortoises. They're an incredible species from Africa that's capable of doing some pretty amazing things. So why are they called pancakes? Well, look at them. They're flat. They can stack on top of each other, and they can jam themselves into tight rock crevices and actually inflate their bodies so a predator can't pull them out.
That's an incredible species. What I really like about the pancake tortoises is that they employ that technique, that survival strategy, that defense mechanism, I should really call it, of jamming themselves between rocks and inflating themselves to get stuck. And that's exactly what chuckwallers do, the lizards from the southwestern US. And I think it's cool when we see this convergence in behavioral patterns across different species for survival.
This is one of the rarest creatures in the world, called the big-headed turtle. They're found in Madagascar and are going extinct due to being overhunted.
Major error in that video. Let me know if you know what it is. But aside from that, the big-headed turtle is another incredibly interesting turtle. It has a very big head, obviously. That big, powerful head provides it with some armor and defense, but it also allows it to crush snails and mollusks in the streams, the fast-moving kind of cooler streams that it lives in. And this allows it to exploit a trophic niche that other turtles of a similar size can't. So that big head, even though it looks a bit goofy, is key to their survival as a species.
These veterinary nurses are fixing a tortoise's broken shell. The shell fracture needs to be fixed to protect the animal's spine and organs. The nurses stabilize the wound with wire, bonder, and bra hooks. This seals the fracture, helping the shell to naturally fuse itself back together over time so the tortoise can fully recover.
That is an amazing technique. It goes to show that a tortoise, if the wound is fresh, there's not an infection, it's literally from, getting hit by a car or something or being dropped, you can simply put them back together and they'll heal over time. If you find an injured turtle or tortoise and it's got damage like that, don't just give up on it. Take it to a vet, a specialist if you can, and get them fixed up.
Hanging out this evening with the fly river turtles. These guys are nocturnal, so I like to feed them at night, and I can kind of see what they're up to as they motor around the recreation pond right here. Look at that nose. And those paddle flippers just like a sea turtle. The only freshwater turtle that swims like a sea turtle. And then
That was Camp Keenan. Serious turtle lover, showing off the fly river turtles. They are such a specialized species that has so many specialized adaptations and such a unique kind of natural history that I'm not even going to attempt to cover them in a short video. If you want to learn more about them, I do suggest looking them up online and having a read, because they are amazing.
There you are. Okay. How did all this happen?
Well, we were out noodling for catfish and we found a hole with a turtle in it. So when it turned to try to dig in, Bo pulled it out by its tail. And they tried to get a picture with it. So said I'd never seen one that big before.
So he's holding it for a picture. Suddenly, and they can extend their necks the length of their shell. He's holding it here. It shoots its neck out and gets him right here and clamps down.
I'm sure that's a show, I don't know. I'm sure it's something fake. That can't be real. By the way, if you do enjoy these videos, please do like and subscribe, because it helps me out. It helps me learn what you actually enjoy watching.
This poor female eastern box turtle was taken out of the wild in May of 1977. So for nearly 50 years, she's been living on someone's kitchen floor. And you can see what has happened to her nails here. They are completely upturned, overgrown. Her beak is a mess. Obviously, a turtle's beak is not supposed to look like that, especially a box turtle's. When we look at the back feet, I know this is hard to look at, guys. We've got necrosis going on here. Her back feet are necrotic.
Sadly, this is the kind of thing I've seen before. Box turtles have this terrible combination. They're omnivorous. They need UVB, they need vitamin A, vitamin C, vitamin E, a variety of prey, and certain kind of foods to wear their beak on, and certain kinds of terrain to wear their nails on as well. So they need all these things, but at the same time they're incredibly tough. So instead of an animal that's omnivorous and can die within 6 months of certain deficiencies, you've got an animal that can suffer for years.
We just finally got her to fully open her eyes. She is getting medical attention. We just got her. I wanted to point out that this is why you don't take turtles out of the wild, folks. This turtle has been dealing with this way of life for nearly 50 years. Very unfortunate situation. Her name is Rockalina. They did name her that. We're keeping the name.
So there's a few things going on with Rockalina. The first two, the most obvious, was saying that she couldn't open her eyes at first, and that beak overgrowth. Those are very likely linked to vitamin A. Eye infections, beak overgrowth are common signs of vitamin A deficiency, and the claws growing are a common sign of walking on a terrain that's not suitable and not wearing them properly. The necrosis on the back leg as well could be a sign of vitamin A, E or C deficiency, making the animal more prone to infection and perhaps poor hygiene. So for the beak overgrowing like that, this creates a phenomenon that we call malocclusion. Occlusion is a closing of a hole in Latin, so a closing of the mouth in this case. Now, malocclusion happens because the beak grows and the beak can't meet properly. This is obviously a problem because they can't eat properly anymore, they struggle to eat, but it also has a secondary effect. Because this occlusion is closing what we call the stoma, which is Greek for mouth, it causes stomatitis or mouth infections. Often you find with these animals, even way before they get to Rockalina's stage, food doesn't get cleared out properly by the tongue because of this malocclusion. It builds up in the corners, it goes rotten in their mouths literally, and they get stomatitis or mouth infections. And this is something that honestly, I'm amazed that Rockalina hasn't died from stomatitis way before this. Also, the other thing to mention with her claws, later on in this video, they do put her in a variable kind of enclosure with terrain and stuff to climb on and substrate. What you get with claws like that when they're overgrown, they tend to twist the digits, twist the joints. They pull certain tendons, make them longer and looser. Other tendons shorten and get tighter. Likewise, some muscles stretch and become deformed, other muscles shorten and atrophy. There's no quick fix treatment for something like that. The only real long-term treatment is giving them terrain that moves and pushes on the digits individually and gives it that natural exercise that the animal has been lacking. So yeah, this is a very, very complicated case and they're doing very good work with her.
Jellyfish are mostly made of water and have little nutritional value. It means that the turtle must eat so much of it, and because the turtle is giant, it eats hundreds of pounds of jellyfish every day. So it needs to swallow the slippery jellyfish very fast. That is why, instead of teeth, the turtle has specialized structures inside its mouth and throat. These are papillae, and they are long, sharp, backward-pointing spines that are made of cartilage. These spines line the entire mouth and throat of the turtle, and they help the turtle to swallow its prey without slipping out. But
leatherback turtles are the largest turtle in the world, but they're probably the most ancient as well, to my knowledge. I have read that some scientists think they are over 100 million years old.
Why do I have a remote control turtle in my hands? Well, a lot of people like to write into us saying Otis needs turtle friends. One thing that we know about Otis is he does not get along with other turtles at all. So I picked up this bad boy to show you what I mean.
That was Garden State Tortoise showing off Otis. Otis is an amazing animal. He's an eastern box turtle, and they have a lot of character. They're quite territorial, they like to fight. You wouldn't ever want to have two male eastern box turtles in the same enclosure. Females can be okay, but the males, really not a good idea. So Otis is not a bad guy, he's just being a turtle.
How's this for a tortoise stampede, everybody? These are my redfoot tortoises. They're from South America. They grow to be about 30 pounds, and these guys are herbivores, and right now they're stampeding because it is time to eat. They love these little nuggets. So I throw it down for them, and they always come out of their shelters for the afternoon feeding.
Redfoot tortoises are one of my favourite species. Because they've evolved to live in forests and dense brush, they start out like a normal tortoise, and then when they're adult, they have this weird kind of peanut shape to their shell. I find that really amazing.
The Mata Mata turtle is truly unlike any other turtle you've ever seen. And if you're thinking, why does it have such a peculiar appearance? Well, here's the cool part. One key reason behind the Mata Mata turtle's distinctive appearance lies in its environment. The bumps and jagged edges on its shell are designed to mimic the fallen leaves, providing the perfect camouflage to create a sneaky trap for its prey. But
what I like about Mata Matas is that they've got this really amazing feeding technique. So if you look at their funny little smile and these delicate jaws they've got, they're really not made for biting or crushing very hard. Even though they're as big as snappers, they actually have quite delicately built jaws, but they've got a rapidly expanding neck. So they shoot their neck out, open their jaws, and it creates a vacuum effect and sucks fish in. Which is, you know, a whole other method. It's pretty cool to see.
Look at this. Oh, perfect. Oh my God. Isn't it great? Chris!
If only they did grow a bit faster. Mata Matas were not very common as pets when I was a kid, but these days a lot more people are keeping them. You could potentially find a captive bred one for sale if you were in the US. Now, the only thing I would say is please remember that Mata Matas need humid air. A lot of people have made the mistake in the past of keeping them in water. They belong in water. They rarely exit the water. But if you don't monitor the humidity levels in the air they breathe and keep them high, they will get respiratory infections. Anyway, that's going to do it for today. I really hope you enjoyed these, and please do come back next week. I'll have something else cooked up. Thank you very much.